much for being here today in this beautiful, wonderful hour of your feature show that happens here exclusively on the Meet Me Up every single Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific Time. Hello to everybody. Welcome to Own It. And here we go with the official intro. Thank you so much, Emoji J, my wonderful admin, for that beautiful video intro to my show, Own It. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Own It. It is so good to see you all. Welcome to this wonderful featured hour of pure goodness, inspiration, stories, sharing life struggles and hurdles. But before I go any further, I do have to let you know who I am, what the show's about, and what you can expect from this beautiful, wonderful featured hour, right? So, a little bit about myself. I am Cicely. I go by That Cuban Girl on the Meet Me Up and on different social media platforms. You can find me that way. And I have been a model, actress, TV host. I'm a current ring girl, former Miss Cuba for the last 10 years, 10 plus years. I would say like 12 years. I have been in the entertainment industry. I moved to Los Angeles with big dreams of being on TV and doing basically this, what I'm doing now, right? Which, my passion is hosting. And yeah, so this is Own It. And what we do on the show, this show is all about me sharing with you guys my experience in the entertainment industry, everything I've been doing for the last 10 plus years, everything that I have acquired, all the knowledge or all the tips, all the skills, all of that, I bring it here to you, whether you are a streamer or an audience member or just simply want to connect. My intention with Own It is that you own the uniqueness of who you are. You own your flaws. You own the things that you like, the things that you don't like about yourself. You own them and you use those things to become a better host, a better streamer, a better person, a better business owner. So hopefully with this hour, this feature hour, you, along with me and my beautiful guest that I'm going to be speaking with very shortly, you can take home just a lot of positive things, a lot of tips on how you can become the best version of yourself by owning who you are. So thank you again for being here. A couple of announcements. I see you all. I see all your comments. I see all the love, all the gifts, all the hearts. I appreciate you so much. Out of respect for my guests who will be jumping on the box in just a minute, I cannot acknowledge every single one of you, but I will be giving shout outs at middle of the show and at the end of the show to my top gifters of the stream. I have been doing this one thing that I think I will continue to be doing. My top gifter supporter of the stream gets to be my bouncer. So if you end up being my top supporter today, you will get to be my bouncer for the next week, Tuesday to Tuesday. So that's my way of showing my appreciation to you and welcoming you into my community. So what can you expect from the show today? And if you're just tuning in, hello, welcome to Own It. I'm so happy that you're here. We're gonna have an amazing show. What can you expect in Own It today? Well, I, as usual, have two beautiful, wonderful guests that I'm going to be speaking with. And they're both very different. They always are because we're all different, right? Then a little bit later, after I speak to my first guest, I'm going to be giving you the quote of the day. And then at the end of the show, I'm going to be giving you the tip of the day. And after that, I will be bringing both my guests back in the box for final thoughts, shout outs, anything that they would like to share with you guys, right? Also, I will be looking at the comments, and if there's anything that you guys would like to add to the show and have a conversation, I'm always reading the comments. Just please be respectful of myself and the guests, because this is a feature show and it's all about positivity and just building up the community, not bringing it down, right? Thank you so much for the support, you guys. And I think that's it for the announcements right now. Welcome to Own It. Thank you for being here. I see you all. I read you all. This is the show where I use my experience in the entertainment industry to help you, give you tips on how to become the best version of yourself and how to own the uniqueness of who you are and your brand and everything that makes you beautiful you. Today's topic of the show is self-empowerment. So that is what we're going to be talking around and about. And I'm going to ask both my guests to please request the box. I see you. So let me give a warm welcome to Soulful Six. She's amazing, by the way, you guys. I'm gonna let her introduce herself, but she is a producer. She does so many things. She has her own record label. Anyways, without further ado, here is Soulful Six.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. It is so good to meet you.
Same. Yes. Thank you. For everybody, I do go by Six. On here, Soulful Six. And I have a record label called 6 Day Soul. And I'm a performing artist. I've been in and out of the music industry for many years. But I decided I was going to come back and start doing streaming probably about 4 years ago. And, it was perfect because the pandemic, couldn't really go out there and perform and gig like normal. And so I've been on here for a few months. Well, actually, I think a year now. And I've been meeting so many great people in here. So I'm really happy that I could come here and meet you too.
Oh, well, thank you. So, no, I'm super happy to meet you and to have you on the show. I meet so many wonderful people every week. I'm so grateful. So you said that you started streaming during the pandemic.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so what got you streaming for first and foremost?
It's funny. Actually, a friend of mine had mentioned it, and I thought, that's crazy. because I was so used to performing live and, different places. So I didn't really think about it. And then I went on, it was a different app, and I went on there and I just started talking to people for a few months. And then one day it was my birthday and I just started streaming, and I just started getting all sorts of people after they were hearing me sing. So, and I just stuck with it. I liked it.
You fell in love with it, right?
Yeah, I did.
Has it been a creative outlet for you to really showcase who you are?
Absolutely. I've been very, very fortunate. Like I said, I did start on a different platform, and at that time they had a thing called a global show. And it was the first time that I experienced being in front, like I've been in front of big crowds, but this was a way different perspective. Here I am with a phone, and now I'm on a global, which was in front. My first show was 1.7 million people. And I was like, okay, well, we're doing this. So it was an incredibly cool experience, and I had done a few of those after a while. So you just kind of come into your own with it. So it's really neat.
Yeah, I mean, 1.6 billion people, that's a lot of people.
Yes, yes. So, and like I said, I've done a few of those, and that was really nice. And I streamed. I was contracted. I streamed for a while, but at one point I started streaming on about 7 different apps at the same time, and I just was like, okay, I'm getting burnout. This is too much. So I took a little bit of a break, and then I just kind of minimized it to a couple now. It is
So
a lot. It was nuts.
yeah, no, it is a lot. I've never personally experienced that, but I have girlfriends who have told me that they have, but it's just crazy.
Yes.
So, Six, I want to ask you, so what do you think, what do you, because here in Own It, I love asking people, what are unique ways that they go about their streaming or their branding per se? Like, what do you think is that one thing that you can own about yourself that people really connect to?
I think for like if you were to come into my stream is all about connection. So I sing soulful music. Now that doesn't mean that it's not you can't I mean it's anything from standards to house music, but it's a style and it's a connection. And I think that that is what I really want to impart with each person that comes in. So the content is very sometimes when it's show, it's all show. It's all just music, boom, 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 little bits of talking. And then there are other times where it's a little bit more conversational. But sometimes we're turning it up and we're having house music vibes. And sometimes it's like old school, some Etta James and Gladys Knight. So it really just, I guess I base it on the temperature of the audience. Like, I don't know, it's a feeling you get, and you base it.
Yeah, I personally love house music too, and my friends on here that come to my actual, streams off of the feature, they know I'm always playing house music. It's like one of my, it's like I don't know where I get it from because I'm Cuban and I grew up in Cuba. Like I'm a real Cuban, but I love house music,
Yes,
you know.
I love it. In fact, that's what I work on. So I'm putting together an album right now and it is house music. I just have such a passion for it. So yeah, we're there.
I love that. I love that. And I'm going to take a quick pause to welcome everybody in. I'm seeing a lot of people writing in the chat. Welcome to Own It. If you're just tuning into the stream, this is That Cuban Girl, and this is your feature hour with Own It every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, exclusively on the Meet Me app. What is Own It all about? Well, on this show, we talk about inspiration. We talk about, I have guests that share their stories. And most importantly, we talk about how can we become the best versions of ourselves by owning the uniqueness of who we are, right? So that's what we're doing today. And right now I'm talking to beautiful Six, who is she's a musician, she's a music producer. You also told me, Six, I have it in my notes right here, that you wait, hold on. That you're also a narrator. What's that about?
So I narrate for audiobooks. So, like I'll have an author and that person will want me to do their whole book. And so I'm doing all the different voices in the book and then I produce it and send it out. So
I love that. It's a little bit like voiceover acting, which I'm
it
very
is.
familiar with. Yeah, that's awesome.
I love it.
Um, yeah, you guys, thank you so much for engaging and for all the love and the support. I will be mentioning you guys in just a little bit. But so Six, what would you say has been like talking about self-empowerment, right? Because it's the topic of today, and I personally love talking about things like this on the show because even though on the show we talk a lot about branding and confidence and all of that, you cannot brand yourself, let's just say, if you don't have self-love or self-empowerment or all the other things that you need inside of you to be that person on the outside, right?
Yes.
So when it comes to self-empowerment, what is like the one thing that you think that has truly self-empowered you in the online world?
I think for me, I'm somebody who sticks to being as real as I can be. I grew up in New York, and people are very straightforward for the most part. Okay. Um, and I also am very good at being thick skinned because of it, right? But I will say that I was very blessed and lucky. I've got to come from a great family who instilled a lot of love and compassion and have been there for me, which is always my backbone and support. For me, I believe that we all get lost, we all get tripped up here and there in life, right? And it's happened to me. But taking that time out to really figure out who you are, what your value is, and then just being authentically you. It's not going to be perfect. Not everybody's going to love you. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? But if you're just true to yourself and who you are, I can live with that. And that's pretty much what I do. So I'm just doing my music the way I do it. I do my style the way I do it. And I feel like that resonates the way, the way it should for my fan base, for the people that like what I have to say and what I do and my music. So that's all I can be, is just me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and I love that because a lot of times we tend to forget that who we are is enough. We always need to grow, of course. There's always room for self-improvement, but who we are is enough, and knowing, for me, one step that I can self-empower myself is always reminding myself that no matter what happens in my life, I am enough and I have the power within me and I can turn situations and things around. And for me, own it. And I said to my friends in here all the time, own it has been the one thing that has been super consistent for me the last few weeks. And I'm so grateful for this hour and this show. Because it's a way that I have learned a lot of things in my path, but now I get to teach it. And while I teach it, I also listen to you guys, to the guests, and I can relate. And if somebody can't relate to me, that's okay, because they'll relate to you or to somebody else.
Right. And you, of all people that have been in the entertainment industry, you know how treacherous it can be when you're swimming in those waters. They will, even the people that befriend you are literally on the side trying to rip you and tear you apart. And so you really have to be solid. You have to know, and you have to like yourself, love yourself. Not talking about narcissistic behavior. I'm talking about just really genuinely like who you are and be okay with your mistakes, with the good stuff, with everything. You know what I mean? And that is hard. That's definitely, it's a test in this business.
It's a test in this business also because there are so many ways that you could easily feel rejected, because rejection is the norm in what we do, right? And that's why for me, for example, streaming has been such an amazing way to show up authentically. I talk about it all the time because I feel like people are just, in my experience, they're just welcoming and they just want to connect. And that's something that in what I've been doing for the last 10 years, there hasn't been a lot of, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's a very nice way to connect. Um, I don't I like to keep my lives very drama free. So there's and I just like to keep it that temperature. So, when people do exactly. So when people do start that nonsense, you're like, oh, okay, okay, moving on. You can't like even bother paying attention. You know what I'm saying? You just move forward, just focus on you and do what you need to do. So
100%.
yeah, I've been at this for a long time. So, I don't know. It just, you do, like I said, I think you got it. You understand the whole perspective of it, and That's it. One foot in front of the other.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys, if you're just tuning in, welcome to Own It. Thank you so much for being here. I see all of your support, the hearts, the favorites, the gifts. Please make sure that you also show some love to my guests today. But welcome to Own It. This is the feature hour that happens here on Meet Me on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, where we talk about ways that we can own who we are, own our uniqueness, and even the things that we maybe not like so much about ourselves, but we can still own those too and make the best out of it, right? So talking to Six for a little bit, I really love that you're a musician, right, and a producer and all of that, but you also seem to be very down to earth and very grounded. Wait, what sign are you?
I'm a Capricorn.
Ah, you're an earth sign. Yeah, me too. I figured. I'm a Taurus, that's why.
Oh yeah, we get along. We get each other.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So Six, I'm gonna be bringing you back at the end of the show, but before you go right now for a little bit, tell everybody, is there anything you wanna share? Like if there's anybody listening right now, right, that they're thinking, I don't know how to authentically self-empower myself or own who we are, or I don't even know how to stream or how to show up with more confidence, what would you tell somebody?
People always ask me these types of questions. It's the thing is that you have to. I always say, okay, first off, you have to decide what kind of content you're going to put together. Okay, it's a decision, and it's okay if you modify it 15 ways and 15 times, but just start. And then from there, it only takes just once. You just go out there, and it's kind of like you have to have a little bit of courage in anything that you do. So stepping out, having the courage to do it, and moving forward and making those decisions is going to be what you need to do. I can't Every scenario is very different, so it's hard to, it's because it's such a general question, but that, I guess that would be something that I would say.
Of course. No, and I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, we have to keep it general in the featured hour, you know.
Yeah.
But I know I love that you said this is a show. Yes, yes, I know emoji. But I really appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you sharing your story and your conversation with all of us. I really love that I got the chance to meet you. And please stick around because I want to bring you back if that's okay.
Yeah, of course. That sounds
Amazing. Everybody go favorite Six, show her some love, and we will see her very soon.
okay.
All right, for all of you guys who are just tuning in, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Own It. Welcome to this featured hour of pure inspiration and sharing of stories. And most importantly, this is a safe space where we can all own who we are, become the best versions of ourselves. And you're probably, if you've never seen me, you're probably asking, who is this girl? Why does she have a feature show? What is this own it thing all about? Well, my name is Cicely. I go by That Cuban Girl. And for the last 10 plus years, I have been in the entertainment industry. And I am somewhat of a new streamer. I've been streaming for like about 6 months on here on the Meet Me app. And I really have fallen in love with it. I have made amazing connections and friends, and I've built a beautiful community more than I ever thought I would. I almost wish I would have found this platform, back in the pandemic days, but it's okay. Everything happens in the perfect timing, right? So with me being a former Miss Cuba, I also was a Miss California USA contestant, and I have been on TV, acting, modeling, runway modeling, I don't know, TV hosting, with all that experience, I decided that a way that I wanted to share that and give back and build a community would be to have a show where I can share all of those tips and all the things that I've learned with you. Because even if you're not an online personality, even if you're not a streamer, right? I feel like we can all use some positivity, some tips, some tools to make our lives better. And I want you to know that the topic for today's show, because every single week I have a specific topic for the show. Today's topic is self-empowerment. And I want to get vulnerable with you guys a little bit, because I don't want you to see me and think, oh, she has the perfect life, she's beautiful, this and that. You know, I believe that owning who you are is owning the struggles and the things that you're going through. And if I'm completely honest with you guys, I've had a difficult last few days for personal reasons. And you know, the way that I own who I am as well is to do this and to still show up and to still come on here and talk to you and do what I have to do and share my knowledge, and more importantly, you know, create a safe space for not just me or you, but my guests to come and share what they're about. And I think that is what this show is all about, owning exactly who we are. We're not always perfect. Actually, we're never perfect. Life is never perfect. And the most important thing is, how do you own what you go through, right? So this is what this show is about. If you vibe with me, please favorite the show, favorite me, and then I will see you later when I am doing my personal streams. Couple of announcements before I jump to my next guest and I invite him in. Firstly, this is a featured show, so please stay respectful of the stream, of the guests. I want you to know that I see you all. I read all of your comments. Please continue to engage. If you have questions, ask them away. If they go with what the show's about, I would definitely put them out there, right? I love that engagement with you. I want you to feel like you're part of the show and part of what's happening. I am going to be giving you very shortly the quote of the day, and please make sure you stick around towards the end of the show, because I will be giving you the tip of the day, which is actually tips of the day. I have a few, you know, and I will be inviting my second guest, and then I will be giving shout outs to my top gifters of the stream, and whoever's my top gifter, he or she will get to be my bouncer for a week. So that is what's happening. I hope I didn't forget anything. So thank you again for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for all the love, support, hearts, you name it, favorites. I'm so grateful that you're here today in Own It. So without further ado, I'm going to give you the quote of the day, okay? So, because the topic of the day today is about self-empowerment, I thought that this is a topic that goes really well with what I'm going through in my life, because if you know me well, you know I share it all the time on Instagram. Oh yeah, by the way, you should connect with me on Instagram. I share it all the time. I love talking about things that I personally experience. You know, I don't like talking about things that I don't personally know of. So, you know, self-empowerment is something that it doesn't matter how confident we are or how confident we seem to be. There will be times in your life where you're going to not feel self-empowered, and you have the opportunity and the choice to turn that around. You do, and that is a part of what self-empowerment is. So the quote of the day today, where is it, goes: self-empowerment is seeking the solution rather than fixating on the problem. Self-empowerment is seeking the solution rather than fixating on the problem. I have to continue to tell myself that. But yes, that is the quote of the day today. I wanted to share that with y'all because it truly touched me when I read it. And I was like, yeah, that makes total sense. How many times do we fixate on what is happening instead of, okay, what is the solution for this? How can I make it better? How can I self-empower myself better and own what I'm going through, become aware of what I'm going through, and then own it and say, okay, well, now I can self-empower myself, take my power back, and continue with my life, right? So that was the quote of the day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. I see you all. If you're just tuning in, I am That Cuban Girl. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram and other platforms. And this is Own It, the feature hour that happens every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific Time, exclusively on the Mimi app. So, without further ado, I am going to invite in the box my next guest. Oh my God, he's got my photo, my flyer. I love it. Thank you so much. Hello, Right Way.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
Of course. I am so grateful that you're here. I love your outfit, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Is that something you wear often? Is that like your signature thing or?
No, I just put it together today.
I love that. No, I ask because sometimes, we have streamers like me, like for example, for the show, I always wear like my yellow jacket. So I was just curious. Everybody make sure that you favorite Right Way, that you make sure you give him love and you connect with him outside of here, okay? So thank you for being here. Tell us a little bit about
hmm
who you are and just a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I started on this platform 4 years ago. I had just started going through a divorce and I needed some people interaction. So the Apple iPhone store said, "Hey, download Meet Me," and 4 years later, here I am. So.
Wow. So you've been streaming on Meet Me for 4 years?
hmm
Wow, that's amazing. So you started when the live feature had probably just started, right?
Right around that, yeah.
What has been the because I don't think I've met a streamer yet that has been doing it for that long. So I'm just curious, what has been like the biggest difference between when you started and then now?
I think the people, to be honest with you, through each change in the world, I think that people have kind of changed a little bit. Right when COVID was happening, a lot of people were kind of in the same place. Everybody was very, very humble, and the world is kind of opened back up while I've been streaming. So probably just the people. The people have kind of fluctuated a little bit.
I mean, it was probably so amazing to be able to have the platform when we were all stuck at home, right?
Yeah, it really was
I love that.
for sure.
So what's like your background a little bit? I mean, whatever you feel okay
Sure.
sharing. What's your background a little bit?
So I had spent 15 years in the car business before I jumped on Meet Me. I had went on disability right at the beginning of COVID, and so just coming from the auto industry, I worked from washing cars all the way up to the finance director of the dealership that I was at. So just car business mostly.
That's awesome. Is that something that you do on your streams now? Like is that your passion? Let me just ask you that.
Yeah, so the car business was a really, really awesome industry to kind of, cut my teeth in. I was actually going to be a psychiatrist. I have a degree in psychology and a degree in sociology. And I walked into a car dealership, and 15 years later, I was walking out of said dealership. So, um, it's not necessarily how I expected it, but I'm glad I took the journey.
Definitely. I mean, there's always power and growth in the journey, whatever we do, doesn't matter what we do. So what do you do in your streams now?
We just vibe. I think the art of the conversation is kind of a rarity these days. And so, I like to keep it really simple. Bethany, I've known Bethany for quite some time, and I guess the empowerment is she would drill into my head all the time that happiness is a choice, and it certainly is. So.
Oh yeah, and that's something that I even try to remind myself that lately. Like we have the power to get happy. We have the power to
hmm
turn our emotions around and turn whatever we're going through around. And I think that's such an important thing when it comes to just everything, whether we're a streamer, we're not a streamer, like life goes on, right? And we have to just
hmm
get happy. So, so a little bit, you gave me a quote that I thought was really
hmm
interesting. And the quote that he gave me was, "You can wear my shoes, but you will never fit them." Why is that your favorite quote?
Michael Jordan had said it to Kobe that you can wear my shoes, but you can never fill them. And at the end of the day, I think that people don't understand, I guess, the quality of the shoe. Like it could, have a busted sole or holes or soggy or whatever it is. So just by looking at the shoe, you might be able to understand it, but without actually walking in it, you have no idea.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of people say, "Yeah, I know where you're coming from. I know what you're feeling," and 90% of the time, people really don't, because a lot of people have not walked in your shoes, and you have not filled them in. So I love that you share that with us. I'm gonna take a quick pause and welcome everybody in. Hello, and welcome to Own It. If you're just tuning in, I'm so grateful that you're here in this featured hour. I am Cicely, and I go by That Cuban Girl. And this is your show, Own It. In this show, what I do is I share my experience in entertainment industry with all of you guys, with tips on branding, hosting, and most importantly, how can we become the best versions of ourselves, and how can we own who we are and own the uniqueness of our brand, or simply the uniqueness of our flaws or who we are, because a lot of times we think that the way we are is not enough, or the way we are, we need to change, and you truly don't. You just have to own who we are, be aware of it, and
Mhm.
continue being better every day. So that is the point of Own It, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So everybody watching, I see beautiful show. Thank you, Bethany. I see all of your comments, I see the favorites and everything. I appreciate you all. Please make sure that you favor my guests and you go show them love and you stay connected with them, okay? So, can I call you right way, or your name? What do you prefer?
You can call me Lenny. That's fine.
Lenny? Okay. I wasn't sure. Lenny. So Lenny, what else, like, so what's your goal here on the app with streaming? How do you feel that you can, own who we are? I'm sorry. How can you own who you are on the app, and like what's your goal with it?
Anybody that really knows me can always tell you that, I'm pretty straightforward. You might not necessarily like what I have to say at the time, but at least it's, real and trying to be constructive. I think the biggest thing is just, there's a lot of good people out on this app. And, just having a place where everybody can come together and talk and, hang out. Just why I came here.
I love that. What is the thing that, or if there's anything that people on your stream tell you that they love your stream because of this?
I think just the ability to be able to just be you, right? Like, I think that, when you come onto a platform like this back in COVID, it was a gathering place for people and to build a community. Now that it's kind of like fast forward, I think that, it's turning into more of an entertainment platform. And so, it's hard to, fit in sometimes. So, just being able to hang out and, have fun.
I love that. Anything you want to plug in, any show, anything you got going on?
No, no, I'm pretty boring. So,
I don't think you're boring. I think you're actually you're interesting, because you're I can tell you're kind of kept to yourself, but that's also a skill.
mhm,
That's something that I sometimes wish I had more of, because I tend to overshare and be completely like on your face about what I feel and everything. So I don't
mhm.
think you're boring. That's actually a good skill to have, in my opinion.
It's actually incredibly hard. So I've been an empath for a really long time. And so for me, it's always, usually just like a volcano. But I've kind of learned how to protect my energy a little bit better too. And so, it's the internet is a very scary but awesome place. So,
Yeah, I love that you mentioned the empath thing, because it's definitely challenging sometimes.
100%,
Yeah, especially being
100%.
in a platform like this, where like you have hundreds of people watching you, and
Hmm.
yeah, you have to. What I before I like, because it's interesting that you're telling me you're an empath. I didn't know that about you. What is like
Mhm.
the as an empath, like what do you think has helped you like protect your energy but still be able to put out there the necessary energy for healing others and helping others but protecting yours?
Setting boundaries, I think, would be like the number one thing. I think that a lot of us give everything that we have to make somebody else happy, and we often leave ourselves depleted, and we don't know how to find, our happiness. And so, at the end of the day, just, setting boundaries and knowing what your limits are, and, just hoping for the best, I guess.
100%. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. I would love to bring you
You're
back in the
welcome.
box in a little bit, if that's okay with you.
Okay.
But
Sure.
everybody go favorite Lenny and give them love and just, stay tuned because I'm going to be bringing them both back in the box in just a few minutes. I'll see you later.
Thank you.
So, no, you're welcome. So, you guys, for all of you guys who are just tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. I see you all. Hello, Vampy, Emerald, Maya. Welcome, Troll. Hello. I see you all. I see you all. And I'm very grateful that you're here. Thank you for the favorites, for the love. Out of respect of my guests, I cannot acknowledge every single one of you when you are commenting, but I see all of your comments and I'm so grateful that you're here in this wonderful, wonderful featured hour of Own It with me, That Cuban Girl. And if you're new on my stream, you're probably asking, who are you? What are you doing? What is Own It all about? Well, number one, please go and favor me, and then you can keep up with everything that's happening and go connect with me on Instagram. But I am Sicily, I am Cuban, and I am a former Miss Cuba. I'm a model, ring girl, TV host. I have, what else? Runway model. I've done pageants. So I have an extensive experience in the entertainment industry for the last 10 years. And that's why I do own it. I do own it because I love bringing this to you, sharing my experience to all of you, whether that's with marketing, branding, simply confidence, or talking about self-empowerment like today's topic of the show. But also, if you guys cannot relate to me, you will most definitely relate to one of my guests. Every week I have two wonderful guests who share their experiences and who they are as streamers and everything else with us. So I believe that Own It is a wonderful opportunity to own who we are, own the uniqueness of who we are, and being okay with it and just striving to be the best versions of ourselves, right? So that's the intention with Own It, and I'm just so grateful to have you here today. So what is happening in the next few minutes is I'm going to be giving you the tip of the day, and then I'm going to be giving some shout outs to the top gifters, top supporters of the stream, and whoever's my top supporter is going to be my bouncer until next Tuesday. And if you are already a bouncer and you're still my top supporter, then it'll go to number 2. So that's my way of saying thank you for being on the show and adding you to my community, and help making you and helping you feel included, I guess, in this whole journey, right? Today in Own It, we are talking about self-empowerment. Why are we talking about self-empowerment? We're talking about self-empowerment because I believe that in order to be aware of who we are and own who we are, we have to also realize that we need to be self-empowered. So what is self-empowerment? Self-empowerment, it's simply the ways that we believe in ourselves, the ways that we take our power back and we say, okay, I am self-made. I am everything I need. Everything I need is within me already, right? So that is self-empowerment. And unfortunately, if you're human, which you, of course you are, we go through all of these situations and life struggles and hardships in life. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be absolutely anything, romantic, friendship, job, career, anything, right? We go through these struggles that I promise you at one point in your life, if you haven't gone through it, you will, hopefully not, but we have all gone through moments in our lives where we have felt so low that we haven't felt self-empowered. And that's why I wanted to talk about this today, because I believe that in order to even be online, right? Like if you're a streamer, if you're watching and you're a streamer, you need to be self-empowered at, you know, at times when you stream. You have to be that person that, even if you're shy, right? Because there's a difference between being shy and not being empowered. You could be shy, you could be an introvert, but you need to be self-empowered in the things that you do in your life if you want to be successful at anything. So can we acknowledge the non-humans in the room? I know, right? With this whole AI thing that's going around, the AI trends, I don't know who's human anymore. I'm kidding. LOL. So the tip, this is not even the tip of the day. The tip of the day today when it comes to self-empowerment is, how can we become self-empowered if we are not feeling self-empowered already? How can we become self-empowered? And I wrote down a few, more like a lot of tips. So bear with me on how can we become self-empowered. And number one, self-empowerment is a choice, right? We need to choose. I see you, Bethany. We need to choose to be self-empowered. A lot of times, the truth is, when we're not feeling self-empowered, we are not choosing to be self-empowered. So we have to first and foremost choose to be self-empowered, right? How do we do that? Well, you make a choice. Number one, you get happy, like literally get happy. Okay, get up, empower yourself. Do not listen to the fake stories in your mind that tell you that you're not enough, that you're not this, that you're not capable. No, you have to literally make a choice to get up and do the things you know. Nobody knows you better than you. So if you know that you're a good person, that you have a good heart, you have to really scratch off all of those stories in your head that are not helping you and become self-empowered. Number three, take your power back. So how do we take our power back? We simply reel our energy back to ourselves. If we have been given energy to a situation that's negative, or to somebody who's negative, and that doesn't mean that person is negative. That just means that that moment, this situation and this person has become negative. So in order to become self-empowered, again, you got to just reel back your energy and own it, babes. Yeah, and own it and say, okay, I know who I am. Those are all lies. Take my energy back, my power back, and continue with my life, right? So take your power back by reeling back your energy and reminding yourself of who you are. You have to practice self-care. So practice self-care, like focus on things that you love doing, whatever that may mean to you. Don't try to be perfect. Try to be better. Sorry, don't try to be perfect. Try to be better. Just try to be better than you were yesterday. Bet on yourself. You have to bet on yourself. You have to know that nobody's going to care about yourself more than yourself. And that is the truth. Nobody. And that's one thing that being in entertainment has really taught me, that it doesn't matter how many agents I've had. None of my agents are going to care about me booking than me caring about me booking jobs, right? So you have to bet on yourself and go out of your way to like do things for you. So bet on yourself. Do not play small. You have to stop playing small and put yourself out there more. And I hope I didn't forget anything. Oh, surround yourself with positive people, develop a positive attitude, and create an action list. Okay, so those are my tips for today on self-empowerment. I hope that that really helps somebody out there, gave somebody more clarity. It's definitely helping me just by talking about it and reminding myself, right? So once again, if you are just tuning in, welcome. This is Own It with me, That Cuban Girl. I'm so grateful that you're here. This is a feature show that happens every single Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And I want to remind you, this is a feature show. Please be respectful of myself, of the stream, of the guests, and make sure that you go and favor all of us and you stay connected. I also want to give a big shout out To my ride or dies that are always here, my admin Emoji J, go favor him. By the way, if you would like to be on the show, make sure you send him a message on Instagram, Emoji J, there he is. Also Legend, who has an amazing show called Picked It every single Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern time. It is an amazing trivia game show. Go check him out and you know, go favor him. Let me see who else. Bethany, thank you. I'm just giving everybody shout outs. I appreciate you all being here. So I would love to bring back both my guests to the Ryder, thank you, to the box for final thoughts and just to end the conversation and to do show plugs and all of that. So let me bring whoopsie, wrong box. Can both my guests, I know, whoops, hi Bambi. Can both of my guests please request the box? I know that was a rookie mistake with the box. You know what it is? The long nails. Okay, there they are. Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Yes, emoji. It's about. So thank you so much to both of you for being on the show today. I appreciate you all. This is just something I do at the end of the show with my guests, where like I just want to open up the floor and the conversation, and people in the chat. If you guys want to comment or ask questions or anything, please feel free to do so. But I wanted to ask both of you, because you're both such different streamers, right? I might be wrong, but Six, you seem a little bit more extroverted, and Lenny's a little more introverted. And like, I just want to point that out there for everybody here who is watching the show. I have talked about this before. Like, if you're thinking about being a streamer, even if you just want to do it for fun, I want to let you know you do not have to be out there. You do not have to be any type of way except be yourself, you know. So I want to ask both of you, what has been the one thing that you have learned recently through streaming that has really changed you?
That's a good question.
It is.
Probably forgiveness, to be honest with you. I think at the end of the day, we all have bad days, and some days we catch each other on them. Especially how often we're out here and we're, you know, sharing our lives with people. And if you're real and you're actually, you know, basically going by what's going on in your life, you're not going to be perfect. And so you just gotta, you know, chalk it up and, you know, learn to forgive yourself and, you know, forgive others, I think.
Gosh, something I've learned that's new. I think it's good to take time for yourself. Right, well, you had made a comment about boundaries, and I couldn't agree more about that. Like, I think that you have to take a moment when you're streaming to understand that there's time where you have to unplug so you can rejuvenate. And because this is a lot, I don't care if you're introverted or extroverted, it's a lot of energy that goes this way. And some of it comes back, but it's not really the same, I've found for myself. And so I think it's important to have your downtime, replenish, and be able to come back so that you can be on point. You can be the streamer and share the content you want to share. So I would say that's mine.
Oh, I can 100% relate to that. And I say that all the time too. I've said that to my friends. This is actually something I heard a pastor say. You know, a lot of people plug into us, but who do we plug into type of thing, right? We have to like make sure that's why, you know, the tip of the day today is self-care, because it sounds like something that people have been talking about it lately for like so much, and it seems like, oh yeah, it's no big deal. Of course, self-care. Like, yeah, but when you're, it's easy to do self-care and to plug into an energy source when you're feeling good about yourself, right? But when you're not feeling good about yourself, at least in my experience, that's when it's the hardest for me to take care of myself, right? Like if you're feeling down or depressed or insecure, you know?
Yep, I get it. I get it. I've had moments that I literally was you know, I was having some sort of problem with somebody, and they're blah 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 blah, and meanwhile I have to do a show. And it really is all about you just saying, okay, you know what? Okay, I can't deal with that right now. Right now, I'm going to be on. And when I'm on, like, that's that thing where I kind of, I mean, I'm grateful for it because I kind of get that energy, that positive stuff. Like I'm putting it out there and I'm getting it back in return. And it helps to kind of give that replenishment, if you will. But it is about the boundaries. Again, it's boundaries always, you know, about how to keep your peace, if you will. So I agree with you. I think that's on point.
100%. And for all of you guys tuning in, thank you so much for being here. This is Own It. We're in the last few minutes of the featured hour, but thank you for tuning in. If you're new, make sure that you favor myself and the beautiful guests that I have on today. Give them some love. Make sure you show up to their streams and keep up with everything they're doing. Today, we're talking about self-empowerment and how we can self-empower ourselves, owning who we are, and become better versions of ourselves, right? So I love those key points that you guys were talking about. I want to ask you, Six, what's a way that you think you can create healthy boundaries on the online community, like while you're a streamer? I mean.
Oh, I don't participate in things that I find are toxic. I mean, and a good example is like I could be in a box situation like this, and it's happened where people are like, and they start gossiping and they're talking, and I don't participate, and I'm gone because you know what, there's just already enough of that out there. I just want to be in the throes of something that makes sense for me. You know what I mean? And feeds my soul, so to speak. So if it's not enhancing my life, it just doesn't have a place in my life. So that's what I do.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Thank you guys. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I'm really grateful that you accepted my invitation. And, you know, I favorited both of you guys. I'm going to be checking out your streams. So I appreciate you all. Anything you want to say, any show plugs that you want to say before we go?
I actually have one. The president of my family, Nini, is down here in the comments. She's running for top badge, so I'm gonna have to say Nini for top badge.
and I'm doing my shows on Wednesdays at 7:00 Mountain Standard Time. So,
what's your show about?
It's a performance show. It's just all music.
I love that. We need more of those on here, to be honest. I love that. Well, let's take a photo for Instagram and I'll post it in a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Please, everybody, go favorite Lenny and Six. And I appreciate you both for being on the show today and for owning it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
And you guys, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. You guys, thank you. Oh my God! What just happened? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you all for, I couldn't hold it in. I appreciate you all for being here today, for everything, you know, the support, all the favorites, all the likes, all the love, just showing up here. I appreciate you so much for being here. And like I promised, no, I did not forget, because I know Legend's going to be texting me later. You forgot to say. I am going to be Thank you so much, by the way. I'm sorry. I just have to acknowledge what's happening right now. I know it's a feature show, but thank you. I am so grateful. This is awesome. Thank you so much. So before we go, I need to acknowledge the top gifters, the top, thanks Marcus, the top gifters and supporters of the stream. And like I promised, and I told you guys, whoever the top supporter is, it's going to be my bouncer till next Tuesday. And if you are already a bouncer, then number two is going to be bouncer. We'll figure something out. I'm trying to figure these things out. But dragons deserve an interruption. I know. Thank you so much. So let me just give a shout out to the top 10. Okay, so number 10, Just Roar, thank you. Number 9, Emerald Empress. Number 8, KP Bullish, hello, good to see you again. Number 7, Simply Sweet, thank you, she was my wonderful guest, Kayla. Number 5, 1111, I believe that's actually culinary, that's awesome, hello. Number 4 is Louie, happy belated birthday to you. Number 3 is Bethany. Number 2, my streaming BFF legend. Go check out his show, you guys, every Monday. He picked it. It's an amazing show. And number 1, my dear friend, John Sacrilege. So my number 1 and my number 2 gifters are already my bouncers. So I guess my new bouncer for this week is going to be Bethany. And I did see you, Bethany, in the comments, very, very active. Woohoo! Very active in the comments. I love everything that you added to the show today, and I'm so grateful for your support. Thank you so much. So I'm going to make